Hello everyone, it's Svenrei again, and here I'm actually going to be displaying a female frame for once because I've done 3 in a row, and my original goal was to go 1-1 male female male female male female, but I kind of just got caught up in frames that I kind of know about, and it just happened to be 3 male frames in there. So I'm going to be on a stretch of 3 female frames to even things out, and we're going to start off with my personal main frame, the frame that I have the most fun playing, and that frame is Mesa. Mesa is, rather than using an element or whatnot, she is all about firearms. She's all guns. She's all just boom, boom, boom. She does a lot of damage. She doesn't have a lot of defense, but she's a very fun frame to play, and I personally enjoy her enough to be playing her over the past probably about 6 months or so. So to go in the statistics, she has very, very average stats. These are all affected by mods as per usual. So to go over her base, she has 125 health, which scales very well. She has a very good health scaling. 100 power. She has a very low power scaling, which is unfortunate because her moves can be kind of expensive. 65 armor, which puts her in the regular area. 75 shield capacity to start, and that is kind of low, honestly. And then a 1.1 sprint speed, which puts her actually among, the quicker frames in the game. She's above that 1, which is the benchmark. And then her stamina is the usual 100. That's pretty darn consistent. So, to go over her abilities now. We have Ballistic Battery, which, as per all of the usual 1 skills, that is just, you get that at the beginning. That's kind of your bread and butter for the first little while until you hit level 10, at least in the way I play Mesa. Ballistic Battery is when you activate it, you start storing damage that you do. And eventually you'll see in the bottom right, which is where all your powers are, it's from a scale from 0 to 100. And then you can reactivate Ballistic Battery at any given point, and then your next shot that you fire will deal a percentage of the damage that you stored overall. Which is great because when you work with high-powered weapons and whatnot, you actually will store a lot of damage very, very quickly. And this means that Ballistic Battery charges quickly, meaning you get more uses out of it, and you get very high-powered shots, which is an amazing thing in this game. Her number 2 here is Shooting Gallery. Shooting Gallery is a little circle that you could deploy. It costs 50 energy to use, and it goes between your teammates, actually. It'll spend some time on you, and then it'll shoot over to another teammate, then to another teammate. And the person it's circling has bonus damage from their weapons, which is actually an amazing little skill. But that's not even my favorite part of Shooting Gallery. My favorite part in Shooting Gallery is when it swaps over, around the circle, it'll jam the guns of nearby enemies or stun enemies that aren't using guns, which means that it buys you some time to either get out of a situation or to do even more damage, which is really, really nice. Her number 3 is, in my opinion, kind of like Excalibur. Her number 3 skill, Shatter Shield, is in my opinion her least impressive skill. It's kind of to a degree, think of Iron Skin from Rhino, called Shatter Shield. This costs 75 energy to deploy, and you gain a barrier which reflects bullet damage incoming, which really only helps against Grineer because Corpus are all laser and Infested are all melee or electricity or whatever they do. So it really only works against Grineer, and you don't notice a really sizable bounce back unless you really build around Shatter Shield. I've been forgetting kind of a huge part here. Ballistic Battery, to go back a little bit, I forgot to go over the strength, duration, range, and efficiency, which is something that I always do. Strength stores the damage that you fall out and the max storage, meaning that you get to store more damage and then the damage is more effective. So power strength is a great build for Mesas that want to really use their Ballistic Battery. Duration and range have no effect on the skill because it only impacts you, and the range is subject to whatever your weapon's range is. And efficiency, as for usual, efficiency will lower the cost. Or depending on if you have, lower efficiency, it'll raise the cost. Shooting Gallery. The power strength will impact the damage bonus that you give off of Shooting Gallery. Duration will increase the duration of Shooting Gallery. Range will impact the stun/jam radius around you, and efficiency again lowers the cost. Shatter Shield, the strength will be how much lower damage you take, meaning how much you defend against. However, there is a cap to that where reduction cannot exceed 95%. So no matter what, even if you max your power strength and your Shatter Shield's all good and well, you will be taking 5% of the damage, which is still great for Mesa. Duration increases the duration. Range doesn't impact because it's just a code around you, and the efficiency is the cost. So now that I've, had my blunder and then I actually quickly decided to go through all that, we can get to, in my opinion, honestly, the funnest ability in the game, Peacemaker. Peacemaker is her ultimate, and this costs 25 initial energy, and it's a toggle skill, meaning that you get to keep it going as long as you have energy, or until you tab out of it again by clicking 4 again, or whatever your number is for using these skills. It costs 15 energy per second while you're in there, so it is a costly ability. But what Peacemaker does is you basically click 4 and then hold down the left mouse button, and you shoot everything around you with hyper powerful weapons. I'll point out what you use later. But it's 100% accuracy and extreme power with very solid crit rate. You will gun down entire rooms in a matter of under 5 seconds late game with these. It's a very fun ability in my opinion, and it's what I have my Mesa spec to personally. So to go over the strength, duration, range, and efficiency for this, strength impacts the damage as per the usual. Duration can't be affected because it's a toggle skill, and thus you swap between energy and yada yada yada. The range cannot move, and what this means is that it's both a pro and a con. You cannot increase the amount of range that Mesa's Peacemaker will impact, as in you can't shoot further like a sniper, but also her range can't go down, which there are some skills in the game which will lower range but, increase efficiency or whatever the case is. Her range cannot dip below 50 meters, and it cannot go above 50 meters. And then the efficiency is the usual cost. Now that lowers the cost of initializing the skill and decreases the amount of energy that is sapped per second, meaning you get to stay in Peacemaker longer, which means you get to shoot things longer, thus you get to deal more damage. And yes, overall Peacemaker is in my opinion the favorite skill in the game, and it's part of what makes me enjoy Mesa more than any other frame. Now to go into ideal loadout options, but first we're going to go ahead and you see these little bar things here, you can see them on either arm. Those are the regulator pistols that are used in Peacemaker. I didn't notice that until, a little bit into using Mesa, but you'll basically flick them up to your hands and then you just start shooting everything. So I have what is currently an ideal loadout. Again, my personal preference. I like to play a differing loadout with Mesa. My Soma is my primary weapon, which is a very, high fire rate, high crit rate assault rifle, which you use to just kind of take things down, mow down crowds, which is nice when you have low energy, meaning that she still has crowd control and she's still able to deal with people. I mean crowd control and the ability to deal with a crowd rather than, Frost where you'd freeze people in place, or Mag where you'd pull people, or Nyx where you just cause them to fight each other. I just mean in terms of the ability to deal with a crowd, to control a crowd. I have the Murloc here, which is honestly the opposite of a Soma. It does a lot of damage compared to Soma being not very much damage per bullet, but there's not a lot of fire rate to the Murloc. Again, it's all personal preference. Like, I like to charge up ballistic battery with the Soma, and then you could flick on over to the Murloc and give one hyper powerful shot. And then Dragon Nikana, her melee, you're going to like to stay at a range with Mesa. If we can recall from an earlier video, Excalibur and Rhino like being in the face of combat. And Mesa more falls along the line of Loki, where she likes to be further from combat, and she likes to more or less gun people down, and if need be, she can melee, but you're not going to rely on the melee with Mesa. So hopefully I've helped you learn a little bit more about my personal frame in the game, and I'll have 2 more female videos coming up. I'm not, necessarily a narc on the whole, like, oh, this needs to be absolutely even, but at the same time, I do feel like it's a fun thing to do to keep things even, where I can go 1, 1, 1, 1, because every single frame in this game is viable, and honestly, the female frames, in my experience, are some of the more fun to play with. So this has been Sven. I hopefully have helped you learn more about Mesa, learn more about her abilities, and maybe even give you some ideas as to how to build her. So this has been Sven, and I'm signing off about now. Hopefully I will see you in the next video. If you enjoyed what you've seen, leave a like, comment. If you see anything I can do better, please comment and let me know. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to me, and I'll have more getting to know Warframes coming about once a day. Alright, so I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.